Plaintiff Tasha Gear dated the defendant, but after he moved in, she says things went downhill. Tasha claims she caught the defendant cheating, and one night while she was sleeping, he snatched her wig off her head while screaming at her. She's suing him for a cell phone and a cell phone bill. Defendant Lindseay Phillips insists Tasha cheated on him first, and she's the violent one who sent him threatening text messages, which he has in court today.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
So me and Lindseay started dating in around 2019. Shortly after that, Lindseay had moved in with me. Things were going good. A little bit after that, things had started to go left. One day I was coming home from work and I saw a woman coming over the balcony on my way going into the parking lot. And then after that, everything just went downhill.
Why?
It was just a whole lot of, between both sides, a whole lot of cheating and lying.
How do you know he was cheating? Just because she come from the balcony, they could have been having prayer meeting.
He wasn't having prayer meeting.
How you know?
I was coming home from work. Why she couldn't come through the front door?
Because you're a heathen. And she know it. Go ahead. So just that one incident, tell me more, because he's going to deny it unless you just caught him red-handed.
It was just cheating between both of us. He was doing what he was doing, going to see girls in my car, and he would punch holes in my walls. He had put 2 holes in my walls. One day he stole my house keys, came in and snatched my wig off while I was sleeping and was yelling and screaming at me, stuff like that.
Really? Now that's nothing to play about. And did you ever have to report him?
I called the police on him, but I didn't file a police report.
You didn't go beyond trying to pull your weave out?
No, he just pulled my wig out.
And he hit the wall and not you?
Right.
All right. He never swung at you?
No.
Never thrown anything at you?
Nope.
Right. Just making sure. All right. So I can get back to having a little fun with the case. But I don't have fun when there's domestic violence against someone and it's hurtful and it's enduring damage. Let me hear from you, young man, about your cheating and I want to hear about these incidents of rage and see what the deal on you is with that.
It was going good for some months. After that, she started cheating. I caught her cheating first. That's what happened. You can look on page 1 of my evidence. If you can see on page 1. After that, y'all moved in with her.
Please, Lindseay, I'm sorry. Lindseay, come back. Come back to me. I genuinely love you, and I messed up. I'll use that word. Please just talk it out with me, Lindseay. Come on, Lindseay. I never.
Yeah, after that though, I moved in with her. It was going good. When we first got the house together, I went to work. I was doing the 3rd shift. She actually brought somebody over first. That's what happened. So after the fact, I ain't gonna lie, I brought somebody else over too. But after that, it just got real messy. She being violent, hitting me. You can check.
Well, she was violent against you.
Yeah, throwing stuff at me, hitting me, all type of stuff. That's on page 3, actually.
Young lady, did you do that? You were violent against him?
No, I was. Well, I ain't gonna say no, but yeah.
That means yes.
Yeah.
You are something else. It's funny, I'm not laughing. You funny. I'm beating your A from now on. This is you telling him you're gonna beat his A from now on. You getting besides yourself. Oh my God, he says, why you wanna beat me? See, you was doing good. So why you wanna beat me now? He acts like you a chronic man beater.
I was not beating on him, Your Honor.
Cause you my end, and I can beat on you if I want.
No.
Your A be hitting too hard.
What's that mean?
She hits her too. She beats him, but she beats too hard. I'll take a whooping as long as it don't hurt too much. That's what he's saying.
That's when it just got worse after that. Yeah, I accidentally punched a hole. I didn't even punch her. I can say she left something sharp on the floor, and I ended up falling into the door. That was the room door, but the closet door, I actually punched that off some other stuff. Me and her was arguing. She just kept irritating. So I punched that.
You weren't beating on her like she was beating on you.
No, I ain't never hit her physically. No, I ain't never hit her.
You call the police on her?
No, I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't even.
You just take that.
I wouldn't do that. Not to her. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I brought somebody else over too, but after that, it just got real messy. She being violent and hitting me.
Young lady, did you do that? You were violent against him?
No, I was. Well, I ain't gonna say no, but yeah.
That means yes.
Yeah.
Plaintiff Tasha Gear is suing her ex-boyfriend, who claims Tasha is violent, and he has the threatening text messages to prove it.
What's the $800 for the cell phone? Tell me about that and the cell phone bill.
I'm suing Lindseay for $800 for the cell phone bill. In around April of 2020, I added him to my phone plan. He agreed to pay the phone off, which was $100 a month, also including the bill. So a couple months later, he stopped paying the bill once we broke up and I put him out. You could see it on page 1, how much the phone was left for the phone, $6.99, and then it was $100 for the bill that was due that month.
Okay.
And then on page 2, you could see that I asked him for the money for the phone. He said if he didn't get the phone PIN, that he wasn't paying for the phone bill.
So he didn't want to cash app you because he didn't trust that you would use the money to pay your bill.
Right. He didn't want to cash app it. I didn't feel comfortable with giving him the PIN to the phone because he had the PIN before and took his phone off, leaving me with that balance. So that caused me to have to get my phones switched over because I couldn't afford to pay the $8.99 all at once. $6.99, I'm sorry.
Young man, what do you say to this?
Well, it's basically she lied a little bit, but at the same time, it was like this. I'm just literally chilling in the living room. The phone just ended up stopped working. I'm wondering why. So I'm thinking she tried to, get my phone turned off or disconnected from her plan. I was paying every month. I just didn't pay it that month because I went to go get it switched over because I thought she was being on some little petty stuff with me. So I just went to go get it switched over. 2 weeks later, she called me. And
how is it petty getting something out of, hold it, how is it petty getting something out of her name with an ex? She's not associated with you anymore. What do you mean petty? She's supposed to get anything she has in her name benefiting you. She's supposed to stop.
Yeah, you right about that, but at the same time, it was like I was still paying the phone bill. I just didn't pay it that month because I'm thinking she actually changed the PIN. I couldn't pay it the next month because I didn't have the PIN. When I called the phone service, they asked me for the PIN. They said it'd been changed, and they asked, was I on the plan? I told them no. My name was never on the plan at all.
Right.
She basically gave me the phone and all that. I never asked her to buy me the phone.
Your Honor, I never gave you the phone.
I did agree.
Why did you have to get all that from a woman?
I don't know.
Did he move in with you too?
Yeah, he moved in. First, he moved in with me and my mother because he claimed that his mother put him out and he didn't have anywhere to stay. So I said, you could come stay here until you get yourself together.
Homeless.
And yeah.
Homeless and phoneless.
Exactly.
No. A grown man. Homeless and phoneless.
When I met him, he he had a phone, but it wasn't on. He could only use it on the Wi-Fi.
That's called phoneless.
Yeah, phoneless and homeless all together. So I let him stay with us.
What do you say, sir?
But the thing is, though, with the phone situation, I was paying. I just didn't give her the money because, I didn't trust her.
Why did you have to live off her in the first place? You don't feel shame having to live off a woman?
I didn't live off her. I was making my own money when I was with her.
You do. You lived off her
No, he didn't.
Why did you move in her house with her mother? Who moves in the house with their girlfriend's mother unless they have to, unless you're homeless? I got to really be homeless to move in my girlfriend's mother's house.
Yeah,
and
he
go
stayed
by
with her
somebody
for a
else's
while.
It
rules.
wasn't
Well,
that- it
not even
wasn't
her
even that.
rules. You
I
gotta
ain't
go by
even-
her mother's rules.
No,
You
I
know
ain't
what you
even-
calling her mommy? I done made. Did you tell your mother to make him call her mommy? He should have. You should say, call my
But
mother
no, it
mommy.
wasn't that though.
Hey,
But no, it wasn't that though. The
Can
crazy
I
part
keep
about it is
staying
I
here,
even
mommy?
gave. I even.
No, you're a grown man. Get your own place. I bet your mama
No, it
says, no,
wasn't that,
baby,
though,
don't
but
do that
I-
to him. He can stay here. And get him
Yeah.
a phone in your name.
She didn't say
I
the
didn't
phone,
ask her for the
but
phone.
Was she
I ain't-
Scotty?
I ain't asked her for the phone, but she just gave it to me on her own. I ain't never
What's
asked
your
for the
mother
phone
say?
or none of that.
She said, come here, hoonsy woosy doody. Talk to him like a baby.
I can't do.
She said, come on, let mama take care of you.
But no, I ain't asked for the
Come
phone.
on.
She gave it. And when I ended up giving her some more money, she told me literally out her own mouth. She said if I give her $100, she'd leave me alone. I gave her that. A week later, she said she's unsatisfied with that and called me back, talking about she was going to sue me for that.
Why did you have to get all that from a woman?
I don't
Did
know.
he
I ain't
move
asked
in with
for
you
the phone.
yeah, he moved in. First, he moved in with me and my mother because he claimed that his mother put him out and he didn't have anywhere to stay. So I said, you could come stay here until you get yourself together.
Homeless.
And yeah.
Homeless
then-
and phoneless.
Exactly.
No,
A
When
grown man. A grown man. Homeless and phoneless.
Plaintiff Tasha Gear is suing her ex-boyfriend, who claims Tasha is violent, and he has the threatening text messages to prove it.
Why do you want to live off a woman?
I don't live off a woman now.
That's because
You
I
are.
put
You're
you
living
out
off
my
her
phone.
700.
No, that's the thing. I was giving her money, paying half of the rent,
Sir,
getting food in the house.
your only
giving her
defense
money, all
is that
types of
she
stuff.
wouldn't give you the PIN number. That's your only defense to not paying this woman who you had to have her put your phone in her name, like people do their mommy. They do that to their mommy. They ask their mommy. They say, Mommy, will you put the phone in my name? Or they say, Mommy, can I live in the basement with you?
I ain't asked her to put the phone
Mommy,
in her
well,
name
you
for me.
did it.
She
Why
did it
didn't
on
you
her
get your
own.
own place? That's what I'm saying.
asked to be
if
put
you
on
didn't
your
have
own
to,
bill.
why did you? If you
I
didn't
never
have to
asked
live
to
off a
be on the
woman, why
phone,
did you?
though.
Why did you move in with her mommy? And if you didn't have to have your phone put in her name, why did you? That's what
She gotta put her name
children
on her
do.
own.
That's what children do. They put their items in other folks' names. You have to grow up, young man, and stop living with
ain't
people.
grown up, no.
Stop living with people's mommy. And then, Mommy, and would you tell her to give me a phone in my name, Mommy? $800. Please, next man you get, make sure he has his own place and his
Yes,
own phone.
sir.
And he doesn't have to move in with you and your mommy.
Yes,
Have a
sir.
good day. Judge me for the plaintiff.
Have a good day. I'm just happy y'all finally got what I deserve, my money.
Oh, that's just called money hungry.
Nobody's money hungry. You hungry, period. So stop saying stuff to me, period.
Plaintiff Diamond Bailey says the defendant is her brother, and as a child, she constantly had to fight his battles. Now, Diamond claims he's a mean drunk, and she's suing him for the balance due on a car and unpaid tickets. Defendant Cleveland Bailey III insists Diamond never defended him as a child, and instead, anytime he snuck out of the house, she's the one who ratted him out. Cleveland's countersuing his sister for emotional distress.
Start with you.
Okay, my name is Diamond Bailey. This is my younger brother. His name is Cleveland. We come from a two-parent household. We grew up in like a kind of rough neighborhood. As a child, I had to stick up for him in school. We had to fight his battles.
How much older are you?
I'm a year older than him.
Not even a whole year, but
We always had to stick up for him and fight his battles because he was a effeminate child. So we had to fight the boys, we had to fight the girls. We take up for him all the time.
Why, he couldn't fight?
Well, he could fight, but
I'm the
so
best
many
fighter in the
people at
family.
one time, or so many people trying to fight him, and he's the
Well,
baby.
how you going? So many people were trying to fight you, right? When you stepped in.
Yeah, but you know, we were taught to have each other's back when we were growing
Okay,
up,
but
so.
you act like a man couldn't fight.
He was
just
really-
because he was feminine.
He was really.
My brother was gay, and he would tear you apart if you. Everybody was
would
scared
too.
of it. Talking about, particularly if he had that razor. Everybody was scared of him. So don't get that twisted, y'all. Please, you come around in the projects I grew up in talking about the gay guys. They'll slice you in 30 places. You can fight, can't you? A slice or something.
I can fight.
Yeah. There's nobody.
It
I
took him
got
a
sliced
while.
before. I ain't trying to do no slicing.
Oh, okay. You don't do no slices. All right. And so you used to have to stick up for him. So you thought, because you, like many others who have that stereotype that gay men can't fight, so you thought you had to jump in there. All right. So how did that go all the time? How often would he have a problem in school?
Well, he had quite a few. Like, it was always a bully. And like I said, he can hold his own, but I'm his big sister, so I'm not going to let him hold his own.
Okay. Well, I'm sure he can hold his own.
But, you know, that's just how we grew up.
After high school, what can you tell me that you want me to know?
Well, we kind of lost our relationship after high
Why?
school. He just started being a different person.
Like what?
Well, he's really unbearable. He drinks a lot, and he started that when he was a teenager, and it makes him like a totally different person. He's like unbearable to
Is
be
he
around.
alcoholic?
Oh yeah, he is.
Okay, so he's like that most of the time.
Yeah.
Because he's an alcoholic and drinks all the time. You got mean drunks, people who you might not drink but once a month, but when you do, you turn mean and act a fool. So, but if he's drinking every day and he's a mean drunk, that means he's mean and acting a fool every day. You act like a man couldn't fight just because he was feminine.
He was really.
My brother was gay, and he would tear you apart if you. Everybody was
would
scared
too.
of it. Talking about, particularly if he had that razor. Everybody was scared of him. So don't get that twisted, y'all. Please. You come around in the projects I grew up in talking about the gay guys. They'll slice you in 30 places.
Defendant Cleveland Bailey is being sued by his sister, who claims Cleveland is a mean drunk.
All right, let me hear from you on that. Or anything else you want, your young adulthood, your school
Well,
days, whatever you want.
From our childhood, me and her never really had a good relationship. She can run that line all the way through the cemetery and back, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Sticking up for me wasn't the case. There was times where, yeah, I was doing things as an adolescent in which I guess for myself, I would consider normal adolescent things, like, you know, sneaking out the house. I would sneak out the house, and I would come back. The doors would be locked. If it wasn't for her telling them that I snuck out, she wasn't gonna let me in. Once, because my mama the type of mama that locked the door.
Right.
But you know what? The position that she makes me out to be this person, she had to defend me, and she had to do all of this and that. She's never been a defender. She's never been a sister.
So
She's
how has
never
she caused you problems?
At this point, I could not rely on her. If this building burned down right now, she'll probably take you out of here before she take me out of here.
Why?
That's a very good question.
What have you done to her?
There was a time, I just left a domestic violence situation 9 months ago in January. And I called both my sisters on three-way. I said, hey, I'm about to pack up. I'm about to leave. I'm about to go. I need y'all help. And I get there. I get an attitude from this side. I get an attitude from the older sister. And I'm bouncing back from couches, so you know my mind already ain't where it need to be. I done lost everything walking away from this situation. And then she claims to have been helping, and you only hurting at the end of the day. And then to be my sister, and I can't rely on you to call you and say, hey, I can't even call in and say, hey, I need somebody to talk to.
Nobody owe you nothing. You gotta talk like somebody owe you something in life.
It's not about owing me. That's the whole thing.
Well, you owe her. It is about owing. That's why
I don't owe her thing. I don't owe her a thing
You're
until
here being
proven
sued
guilty
about
for
owing,
it.
whether you know it or
I
not.
don't owe Miss Ma'am a thing
she's
instead
gonna
of
let
proving
me
her
know.
guilty for it.
Go
She
ahead.
proved me guilty.
Bingo.
Tell me how and what happened with the money.
Well, like he said, he just moved back into
It's
Illinois.
a lie.
The car and the ticket.
Yeah, and when
You gotta get your story out real quick because the way he talking, he gonna be thrown out any minute now. So go ahead.
when he moved back, he was
See
supposed
that? He
to be
about to
living
say something slick again.
It was
go
coming.
ahead.
It was coming.
Go ahead.
So like I was saying, I had a car. I bought a new car, and since he had just moved back, I was like, okay. He asked me if he can pay me for it. I said, okay, go ahead. I only wanted $200 for him for the car. He promised to pay me the $200 for the car, and he promised to pay me half of it when I gave him the title, and the rest of it after he got more money about a week later or so. And
wait, did he tell you he was gonna get the more money a week or later?
a week, he said that he was gonna have it the next Monday.
So why didn't you tell him to just wait until then? Anytime
Cause
somebody tell you give me
homeless. I
something
had
until
nowhere to
next
stay
week,
with a
that means you
sister,
could
with
wait
two
until
of them
next
that had
week.
a crib.
He was claiming that he was gonna be homeless because.
All right, only for a week. Then you'll see how the other side lived for a week.
I was homeless
Yeah,
for 3
maybe I
years, Your
should.
Honor. I ain't worried
Yeah,
about
so he
nothing.
was used to it. You heard him? He said he was homeless
I ain't
for
worried
3
about
years.
nothing.
Why you stop him that time? He might have wanted to be homeless.
I don't
Yeah.
know, you know, I'm not just saying. I ain't got it in me to, you know,
Oh,
beside whatever
girl.
he say. We always have his back. So I went ahead. I gave him the car. I gave him the title. He told me he was going to the currency exchange to switch the title over from my name to his name.
The
I
lies
had not
these
seen
folks
him
tell.
for months after that.
What about the tickets?
That's when I started getting tickets from the car in my name. I reached out to him. I told him, hey, you getting all these tickets? I thought the car wasn't in my name anymore. He's like, oh, it's not. He's lying about it's not being in the car in the name. Then he wanted to turn around and say, oh, well, I'll pay for him. And then when I asked him again about it a couple months later, he started to try to start an argument and curse me out like he does
Girl.
to everybody.
Okay, let me get to him about the balance on the car and the unpaid tickets.
So I reached out to Diamond and exhibit on your paperwork on, give me 1 second. It's page 5. When she sent me the ticket, I reached out to her. I had contacted her prior to that. Diamond did not contact me and let me know about any tickets that were coming in her name or coming to her household. So therefore, when she contacted me with this ticket, I responded and I let her know this is what I called you about. This is what I was trying to rectify before it even came to that. If something was transpiring, which it came from a third party about the situation, then let me know. As well as I was pulled over in June after she reported the car stolen. I was arrested. My friends, one of the ones that also wrote a statement in our evidence to contact the DA and the attorney's office.
That's your
to let them know
counterclaim
what
for
was going
emotional
on.
distress. Let's finish answering to the balance due on the car and the unpaid tickets.
Defendant Cleveland Bailey is being sued by his sister, who claims Cleveland is a mean drunk.
Your defense to the unpaid ticket is a communication where you told her you wanted to pay it. Have you paid it?
Nope.
Oh, it's not too late. You can pay it today. Since that was your only issue is communication. We've communicated very clearly on that today. Balance due on the car. What's the defense to that? Okay, you have
She
none.
can have it.
Now, pardon? Okay, your
It was me.
counterclaim for $1,000. How does she cause you emotional distress?
Because she did not me being arrested, me having to go through she had not contacted me prior to me being arrested. I did not know anything about her getting
Did
receiving
you use the term stolen when you called the police?
I
Yes.
actually
Yes.
was never able to report that car stolen.
That's a lie, and you
because
know
they
the
told
truth
me
ain't in you.
What
Because
is your
if you look,
understanding of his arrest?
excuse me,
he a criminal.
if you look into the court case, I was never pulled over in Carpenter.
Who has a police report regarding your arrest and over?
Who has a police report regarding? Who has evidence that I bought the car?
No, but you have to. No, we're fine with that. That part, we're on your counterclaim. If you want to win your counterclaim, provide
My
me
statement
evidence
provides
that you-
evidence.
Who made the statement?
My statement is from Diamante Green,
Who is that?
and that's the person that I had to go live with when I couldn't live with the people that
if
told
a
me
person,
that I
if
could.
a person will let you live with them, they'll also lie for you.
I got other stuff to do today. I'm trying to go shopping. I ain't got time.
$1,195 is your judgment. Your claim is dismissed. You can no longer go buy Gucci today. You're gonna have to buy Poochie.
Who can't go back?
Have a good day.
I'm about to go to Louis anyway.
Today, perform stereotypes, and they say, or whatever else you might have said.
It's time to rewind and check out this week's Judge Mathis Throwback.
Plaintiff Chenise Christopher says she and the defendant were really good friends until the defendant started dating a 40-year-old drug dealer. Chenise claims despite the fact that the defendant was a former drug addict, her boyfriend fed her prescription pills like they were candy. And Chenise is suing her former friend for rent and a security deposit. Defendant Nicole Brady says she and Chenise were inseparable, and once she started dating her boyfriend, she stopped spending time with Chenise, and that's why she believes she's being sued. Nicole denies owing Chenise for anything, and she's countersuing for car damages.
Start with you.
Okay, so just to give you a little background of how we came to this position, Nicole and I were really good friends until she got involved with the 40-year-old drug dealer. That's when this all happened.
Can I interrupt? Your Honor, the only reason we're here today is because Chenise is jealous of my boyfriend Ernie, the relationship that me and him have. Me and Chenise used to be like joined at the hip, and as soon as I got a boyfriend, you know, I didn't come around as much, and I wasn't always around her. She doesn't have any other friends in Colorado. That's why she's doing this.
How do you know she's jealous?
Well, I just know the type of person that Chenise is.
All right, so describe. Prove what you're saying. You're saying the woman is jealous of you and your boyfriend.
Okay, she's jealous of...
I happen to think that she can do all right for herself.
Okay, she would call me and yell at me, you know, when I wasn't home, if I wasn't there.
I don't like your boyfriend. He's too good looking, or you're whatever, and therefore, what did she say about your boyfriend?
She doesn't like him. She hasn't liked him since the day she met him, before she even knew him.
What has she said about him?
She says that exactly what you just heard. She says he's a drug dealer, that he's a 40-year-old man who has done nothing with his...
That doesn't sound like jealousy. That sounds like concern for her friend.
But it's not the truth.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, it's not true?
No, it's not the truth.
Well, ma'am, you proved to me that what you say is true about her boyfriend.
I have a witness statement from my mother who came in July who witnessed the drug activity.
She used to buy from me? What? I mean, how do you know? How does she know?
I actually have two.
No, I'm just making you all prove your point. That's all.
He actually came to her and asked her if she wanted to get high. And
see? Y'all think I was
on the right track.
And
it's in the
what?
statement. It's in the statement right there.
And then what?
That's my proof right there.
Did your mother buy or say no?
No, she didn't.
Nicole was aware of the problems with her car, but this is about a car, ma'am. You read to me about this drug allegation.
There's two parts in here. It says, as quoted by my mother, there is drug-related activity at the back of the house where Nicole established a relationship with Ernie. Ernie, who asked if I wanted to get high when she was sitting outside smoking a cigarette.
He didn't ask if she wanted to buy any. One more comment about this, and then we're getting to the rent. Go ahead.
Okay, on behalf of her mother moved here from California because she lost everything that she had, and she was moving into my bedroom that I was giving up for her because she had nothing left, because she had a drug problem of her own. And there was a couple occasions that when Chenise was at work, her mother came and knocked on my door and said, "Nikki, if you need," and she was in tears, and said, "Nikki, if you need me, I will talk. I will go on behalf of you for court."
Sure,
because
she
I
did.
see the way Chenise is treating you. I see what she did. She's doing the same thing to me.
So she told you that, and she sent a letter.
Right.
Who gave her a hit? That's what I'm gonna believe. All right, well, I don't believe neither one of you. She's not gonna lie unless she's getting a hit for lying.
Plaintiff Chenise Christopher says she and the defendant were really good friends until the defendant started dating a 40-year-old drug dealer who's with the defendant in court today.
Go ahead, ma'am. What else do you want to tell me before we get to this rent?
Okay, well, he was also at the time giving her OxyContin and Percocet, which she had told me she was previously addicted to in Florida. So this concerned me. This is right off the bat why I didn't like him. I was trying to protect her from her previous addiction. You know, he was handing her these prescription pills not prescribed to her like candy, like he was her candy man.
And where exactly is he getting them from?
It got out of hand. It was going on in the house. And, you know, I came out to Colorado.
The house that you all rented together?
Yes.
Okay.
And I came out to Colorado
when did
to
you
do
all
better.
become roommates?
We became roommates in May of this year.
Okay. And who all lived there?
It was myself, Nicole, and my boyfriend, Jeremy.
And what about Brian, the guy who slept on the couch?
And also Brian, the guy who slept on the couch.
Who was he associated with?
He's one of Jeremy's friends.
My friend.
And the guy on the couch wasn't paying anything.
How many ways was the rent split?
It was split 50-50.
50-50, doesn't make sense. If there's
Thank
four
you.
people, it has...
Thank you.
What do you mean?
It was split between me and Jeremy and Nicole.
What?
Sir.
You just
So
said
how
it was
does that
split between the three of you.
Yeah.
State your name.
I'm Jeremy Damani. I'm her boyfriend. At the time that we got the apartment, I was working. I was working just about 45, 50 hours a week.
Oh, good. So you all started out splitting it three ways.
Exactly.
How much did you pay?
Okay.
3 ways is
basically
$750.
$375. It wasn't split 3 ways. It was split right in half.
Okay, why did you say it was 3 ways? Sit down. You've discredited your testimony. Let's get to the rent. How does she owe you for rent, ma'am?
Okay. Well, as clearly stated in our lease, we are held liable. It's a legal document. We are binded for...
No stuff. Go ahead, ma'am.
We're held through May of 2011, and I have mine and her signature on this lease.
Okay.
It's per Colorado law.
All right.
And you know what had happened was she started paying at her own leisure. She wouldn't pay on time. She would pay towards the end of the month. Yet she had
What are
money.
you over there nodding his head about? You got a lot of nerve. You in the bedroom, your boy on the couch. You all got her paying half, and you over there, yep. Go ahead, ma'am.
Well,
so how many payments did she miss?
She paid for May and June. She paid the $375 each month.
She failed to pay $375 for the month of July?
Correct. She didn't pay the total amount. And I actually have
How
a
much
paper.
did she pay for July?
She paid $171.
Okay, so
before
what is
she
her
left.
balance for July?
It'd be $204.
Okay, and what about the security deposit?
Security deposit, she paid $200.
All right, and you paid the landlord the full amount of the deposit?
I gave, what do you mean?
God have mercy. Ma'am, let me hear from you.
The agreement was that me, Chenise, and Jeremy were going to be splitting the bills 3 ways.
That's not true.
So
That's what he was saying at first.
right, exactly.
But then he changed
right.
it.
So when we get once
So
we
I'm
have
inclined to believe you.
okay.
You didn't change your story.
Okay, so once we have we have the house now, and she paid her part of the deposit. The deposit we only put down was she put down $250. I didn't have money at the time for the deposit because I was just starting my new job. The $250 I ended up paying when I got my check.
You paid her $250?
Yeah, I paid everything to her, thinking she was
When?
May of 10.
Okay, so you say you paid $250 to her.
Right for
And
the.
you say that's not true?
That's not true. Where's the receipts? I have all the receipts for
Okay, I don't
exactly.
know where the receipt is. Why
Okay,
you
Judge.
asking me?
Judge, the
Oh,
reason
you
there's no
you
receipts.
want to know from her where the receipts are.
Yeah, where are the receipts
And
at?
you-
I
I
have
paid
the
you.
receipt.
Plaintiff Chenise Christopher says she and the defendant were really good friends until the defendant started dating a 40-year-old drug dealer who's with the defendant in court today.
Did you ever receive a receipt from her for
No,
anything?
sir. Never for anything.
So those receipts you're showing is from whom?
It's from me and Jeremy to our landlord.
I have a letter here from my landlord, if you'd like to read it, proving that I've paid all my rent.
Ma'am, what do you
And
say
I was-
about this letter?
He told me that he was giving her this statement. Well, he told me that he was gonna write it for her or whatever. And he actually never sat down with the 3 of us, me, Jeremy, and Nicole, and discussed that she would be released from the lease. He never wrote us a new lease agreement.
You said you talked to him about it.
I talked to him about it because I wanted her out of the house because she wasn't
Ma'am,
paying.
hold on. Let me remind you of what you just said 10 seconds ago. I spoke with the landlord about the letter he was writing. So you did speak with the landlord about her getting out of the lease.
No, we did not.
She said she did.
You could have contradicted when you
She
talked
said
to
she
him.
did. I'm not crazy. I just heard what she said. The letter says she is dismissed from the residential lease agreement on July 7th. So she owed you 7 days for July. And $375 divided by 30 days is what?
$12.50 a day.
Multiply that by 7.
$87.50.
$87.50 is what you owe in rent, ma'am. Now, let's get to the security deposit. You claim you gave her $250, so we're only talking about $50 difference. I'll grant you that. And that would be
$137.50.
$137.50. Ma'am, you're suing for car damages. How does she owe you?
Well, when Chenise and I were living together, her and Jeremy had an old truck. It was an old pickup truck, and I had a little Saturn. So Chenise worked like an hour and a half away. So I offered to let her use my car under the understanding that she knew she had to put water and oil in it.
How long did she use it?
She used it probably for at least a good month, every single day.
And what happened to your car?
Well, she drove it until the head gasket blew. It was overheating. Okay. She wasn't putting water or oil in it.
All right.
Jeremy calls me.
You spoke to her, and what did she say?
She didn't say anything. She
just
apologize.
Was quiet?
Yes.
Your Honor. Your Honor.
I swear to God, she was quiet.
All right.
She
Why
didn't
don't
say
you ask
anything.
her again? Why don't you put him out?
Yeah.
Get him out. He keeps interrupting.
So ask
Go
her
ahead.
again. Ask her again. Chenise, are you going to pay for the damages to my car?
No,
Since
I
you
didn't
had
damage
my
your
car.
When did you use the car?
I started using the car maybe in the end of June.
Was it operating properly?
Yes, it was.
It was operating properly. When you returned it to her, was there anything wrong?
It had overheating problems when she had, upon receiving the car and upon me
You said it was operating fine, so make up your mind.
It was still running, but it had problems.
And you continued to drive it even though it had problems?
Yes.
Do you have the estimate for the repairs?
I do. And here's
How much is it? $1,336.76 is your judgment, ma'am. You should have stopped driving that car when you received it and the radiator was overheating. You had a responsibility to either stop driving it or give it back. You don't drive someone's car if they give it to you and there's something already wrong with it. In fact, ma'am, I'm going to deduct some of the radiator. This radiator charge of $130 and the radiator cap for $5. How much is that?
$1,202.
Your judgment is $1,202. I'm not going to require her to pay for a radiator. You gave it to her damaged. However, she had the responsibility of knowing when a car is smoking and the radiator is having problems, you don't continue to drive it. That is negligence. Have a good day, folks.
I think she's just jealous because I have a lot of friends that come over and she has no friends, so she's a lonely person.
Sure.
She's a lonely person.
All your friends are drug addicts, dude.
Who are you to talk?
Okay. Where's your proof?
Where's yours?
We recently spoke with defendant Nicole Brady, who told us that after their case was heard, plaintiff Chenise Christopher moved out of town. And although there's no bad blood between them, Nicole says they haven't spoken in years. Nicole also told us that since appearing on the show, she has had 3 children and is living a happy life. We tried reaching out to Chenise, but were unable to reach her. So Chenise, if you're watching, please give us a call.